Hello everybody and welcome to the Horsch DLC. This is my first look sort of garage tour video and it isn't actually released yet as such. It kind of is. The official release date for the Horsch DLC is actually 2018 at some point. Nobody really knows, I don't think. However, for a very limited time it is available to download, and I think actually the expiry date is roughly the 18th of November. I'm not entirely sure, but if you do want to get it now then you can do, as long as you're fast. Now, I did actually confirm this with Giants, and they said it's all legitimate and everything. It should have been released, and you can download it using the key which they provided over on their website. So I'll put it down below in the description. Hopefully, you can use it as well. Just don't hang about if you do want to get it. So yeah, here we go. The first thing. This is the Horsch self-propelled sprayer, the Lieb PT 350, and I don't know if that is the correct pronunciation of Lieb. It might be the Liebe, I don't know, but anyway, it's a decent machine. Let me just change the field of view. There we go. I was just trying to get a really dramatic start to the video by changing the field of view. But yes, this is, I would say, my favourite machine in the pack, which probably isn't the best thing to start off with. But having said this, everything else is still very exciting, and of course, fairly unique as well. There's some stuff which I've never even seen before in real life, or even pictures of from real life. So this is the interior view, as you can see. Lots of controls, looking very realistic indeed. Looks like everything is to scale, nice to drive, and it should be a really useful machine to own on a farm. Okay, are you ready? It's a dynamic gauge, everything works as it should do. It isn't just some screenshot, or should I say, a photograph of the real thing, which doesn't move at all. So that is very nice. I can't see where I'm going though, that is the only problem. Okay, so now we're back in the third person view. I just want to show you one thing very quickly, and that is how it unfolds. Now obviously the spray boom is just going to unfold like any other sprayer. However, the width of these wheels, the distance between them, actually extends as well. So if I just press X on the keyboard, you can see that the entire machine does widen. Then after this, it just automatically unfolds the boom as well. Just lifts up slightly, just I think so it can clear the tank or something else on the machine. And then it widens to a very decent working width. It actually is I think 354 horsepower, this sprayer. So it's a bit of a beast really, and you can tell just by the width of the thing. So it's going to be a fantastic thing to be using on any kind of big farm, where you can't really be using just a trailed sprayer. Although, some of the trailed sprayers are actually quite big, but this is still a huge upgrade from that. So there we go. The Horsch self-propelled sprayer. We'll leave it here, and we're going to move on to the next machine. Okay, so next I've just brought out the Pronto 9DC, which is of course just another Horsch piece of equipment which we've got. As you'll know, the game did actually start off with some pieces of Horsch already in it, so I'm just basically showing you everything which Farming Simulator now has with Horsch, which has been officially created by Giants. Next we have got 3 different cultivators. Let me just drag these out of here. Starting with the smallest, we've got the Tiger. I think it's the Tiger 6DT. Let me just zoom in. It is. Good job I got that right. So here it is. Still a fairly wide working width though. And quite deep as well, those tines go. So that is one piece. Let me just fold it up again so we can drop it off. They get gradually bigger. We're not going to be looking at the New Holland Combine Harvester just over there because that is obviously from the base game. Nothing to do with the Horsch DLC. Okay, so this could be a bit more challenging getting these out of here. I'm sure it's possible though. There we go. Right, let me just try and find an open space for this. That should do nicely. So we'll start to unfold it. And if you're wondering what this is the Horsch Joker 12 something. The 12R. Yeah, I can't be expected to remember everything. I've got no fact sheets in front of me, so I don't know exactly what things are without reading. I'm just going by memory here. But if you look at that working width, that is impressive. Just wait for the engine to restart. Right. So there we go. That is a huge upgrade from one of the smallest cultivators which we can get. In fact, I believe it is actually a Horsch cultivator, which we started off with, and it's like a really long one, but it doesn't really do much. There we go. The Tirano 5FM, which is not part of the Horsch DLC. That is in the base game. Now, we finish off this set of cultivators with the largest one we have, just over here. If you're wondering what that green and red thing is in the corner there, I'll show you in a minute. Basically, it's basically a slurry injector, a dribbler. But we'll get that all fitted onto the tanker in a minute or two. Right, so let's get this one unfolded as well. There we go. Just jump out. This is the Horsch Cruiser 12XL. And yes, the XL is quite clearly standing for extra large. Look at that. The footprint of that thing is huge. So if you're looking to get some larger pieces of equipment in the way of cultivation machinery, then yes, this Horsch DLC is something you want to look at. Let's just move on. We'll go over and see the seed rows because there are 2 more added to the DLC and they are huge. I think they're down here. Yes, it's just I'm on the wrong side. But we already do have a challenger over there, so if I just run through here, I'll show you the fertilizer spreader first of all. This is what I am going to call the row crop tracks. And wait, I'm sure you can see what I mean. They're much thinner, but also the actual distance between them is wider, and they're running pretty much perfectly with those tracks on the spreader. Actually, I think they might be a little bit further out. But either way, it is a spreader with tracks to obviously reduce compaction, and when it's coupled up with the tractor on tracks as well, the compaction overall should be dramatically reduced. So that is a very interesting machine. I've never seen a spreader on tracks before. I suppose if you think about it, it's quite an obvious thing to do. It's just, maybe it's because they're expensive. I can only guess that it is expensive. I haven't actually looked at the prices because we started off with everything already purchased, but $36,000 there, or pounds, whatever, it could be anything. That actually seems to be very reasonable. That is a 36 metre working width, and this one here at 67,000, it's only 24. I suppose it's because it's got a larger capacity. This one has a capacity of 20,000 litres, this one only has 10. So it depends what you want really. If you want to get more done without refilling, because obviously refilling does take time, and yeah, not really worry about compaction so much, then yeah, something like this would be perfect. But if you're thinking more about the ground, the quality, compaction, then yeah, certainly something like this. Anyway, shall we detach this off here? I think we should do. But first, let me just open it up. There you go. Inside view. Let's get the next machine out. We'll just keep using the same Challenger for the time being. It does look very different, actually. Surprising. It does look, I suppose you could say weird, with the tracks not actually being under the fenders. Right, so next we've got a seed drill just over here. Get it hitched on. Bring it out of here. I'm sort of putting things out very randomly. We're going to run out of space if we continue like this. But just look at this machine. I do need to change the setting actually to keep the engine running, because if you jump out with the machine unfolding, it will stop unfolding as well. So there it is. Look at the width of this. Very nice planter. This is the Maestro 16.75 SW. But as I'm saying, if you're looking for wider working widths, then these are the machines for you. Just look at that. We'll also open it up. So if you want to load it up with sacks of fertilizer from above or seed, because it takes both, then you can do that if you want to. Put it in the correct compartment and you'll be fine. Right, so we'll just close the lid and we'll go and get the next one. I'm just messing around with really expensive machinery, just dragging them all out of the sheds. Just have a quick look. Seems wasteful. You're gonna have to put them back later. Now this looks very interesting. We've got a chaser bin on tracks. Now this isn't totally unique, obviously there's already some chaser bins on tracks already in the game, but not a Horsch one. So this is different. If I just press O, we can put the order up. The Titan 34 UW. So when coupled up with a Challenger, probably not this Challenger in particular, one with the wider tracks, yeah, that would be a really good combination. So you can see in there, nice big capacity. If I just try and locate this on here, then we can look at a bit more information. So here it is, $87,000, and I think there's some information about it. Yeah, 34,000 litre capacity, and there are all the different types of well, material that you can transport in it, because you can not only just transport the crops, but also fertiliser and seed. So a very useful machine to have about. Obviously the 34 is standing for 34,000 litres, whereas this one is 43,000, this is 28,000, so it's a happy medium really. Nice happy medium to have, although it is quite expensive. That's probably due to the tracks. Okay, so next what we've got is this Horsch slurry tanker, the 21,000, and basically this can be coupled up with two different machines. Firstly, we have got the Injector 12, which is what is currently on the back, although it is only partially unfolded. So let me just fully unfold it there. So that is essentially what it's called, a slurry injector. That's the tank. This is the actual mechanism that injects it into the ground. Many hoses, but also there is another piece of equipment which I showed you earlier actually, but I don't know if you would tend to put it on the slurry tank. It does fit and everything, it would work, but it is pretty big. So let me just show you on here. It is the drag hose 36. So yes, it doesn't actually inject, it is, like I said, like a dribbler sort of thing. It runs on the surface, just dribbling the slurry onto the soil. Now one other thing about this is if you press X when using it, you can actually widen the tracks on here as well. I would guess either to align it with the current tram lines or for stability. Either way, both will have a contributing factor. So I'll just, yeah, didn't want to crash it, but there we go, just put it there. Next we've got another seed drill. So we'll get hitched onto the back, sorry, eating my words there. This looks to be the largest one of them all. Certainly a very large tank. Again, it can take fertiliser and also seed. I'll press N to open up each compartment in there, as you can see. We will take a look at it in the store, but first I need to find a nice open space to do this in. Wow, this thing is sensitive if you steer too tight. Probably because it's got such narrow tracks. Right, okay. Get this unfolded. A nice wide drill. Okay, let's just jump out. Try and find the model number. I think it is something like 16 something. I can't find it at the moment. The Evo CS. I'll just take a look. I'm pretty sure it is called 16. Where is it? Okay, this is the 12. 375. Okay, that didn't go too well. That's the 16. Yeah, this is the 12. Right, so this requires 320 horsepower, 12 metre working width. This one requires 220 horsepower, again with a 12 metre working width. I think the only difference between them is just the crop types which they can take, because they can both put seed and fertiliser in, but this one is for sunflower, soybeans, maize and also sugar beet, whereas this one is more for the cereal crops, oilseed radish, soybeans and grass. So that is, I would say, the only difference between them. Okay, so next we've got the slurry tender, which is designed for transporting slurry about the farm. If I just turn the engine on, we'll give it a quick drive. We actually have two of these over here, but it is simply just for refilling the slurry injector over here, which I showed you earlier. And yes, I am pretty sure now, after looking at things closer, that the dribbler over there, let's try and find the name again, the drag hose 36 is definitely for this slurry injector. So yes, these two coupled together would make the perfect operation, because you've got the tractor working in the field with this, with either that attachment or the 36, and then you're carting with most likely a truck, but you could be doing it with the tractor, with the slurry tender, which is just there. So a nice little setup. We'll park it back over here, and we need to move on to the next machine. Okay, so next we've got a seed tender, which is basically the same idea as the slurry tender, it's just it transports seed instead of poop. So yes, it is like it's basically the same as a chaser bin, but it isn't taking large amounts of grain from a field, it's actually taking smaller amounts of seed to a drill, but the same general idea. However, I think it might be running off a conveyor belt system rather than an auger. As I say, I haven't actually looked at these in too much detail. Let me just go on here. Here it is. So yes, it is to temporarily store and transport seeds or fertilizer. And it is designed, by the look of it, mainly for a truck. But we're going to be different today, and we're going to put it on a tractor. I'm sure it will work. Hopefully it will do. I need to bring it out of here so we can take a closer look. There we go. Let's hope we can actually fit through here. Very tight. There we go. Right. Yes, I should have attached that as well. It's two different halves. Okay, so if I just press O to unfold the pipe, you can see that you can toggle different doors. So you've currently got the seed door, but if you press K, you then open up the fertilizer door. Yes, I can see that happening. If you look in the back here, it's not very easy to see, but there you go. The shutter doors are deciding which side you're going to open up and send up into your either your fertilizer spreader, or the fertilizer compartment on a drill, or the seed compartment on a drill. It's all up to you. But it's a nice machine, and I guess you could say it's multi-purpose. So that's going to be very nice to use in a future video. But it is indeed taking like a conveyor belt system. Quite hard to see, there you go. Instead of the auger system. Now when you're ready to actually unload into a drill, press X and it will sort of tip the hopper to aid the fertilizer or seed in coming out of there. So it's like a tipper as well. So a very nice machine. I've never actually seen one of these ever. I didn't even know they existed. So in my opinion, it's fairly unique, but I suppose in different parts of the world it might be very common. You'll have to let me know. Right, we now have another shuttle. This is the 8000 or 8.000 shuttle, which is designed primarily for transporting liquid fertilizer. If you go on the description for it, it'll basically just say it transports liquids, but it is mainly for liquid fertilizer. So you'll be taking it to and from your sprayer, or something like that, which requires liquid fertilizer to operate. You can see all the pumps on the back, the different valves and everything. So it is heavily detailed. There is also a hydraulic pump there as well. But yeah, it looks very decent and it's going to be very useful. So that pretty much does conclude our little tour of the Horsch DLC, and hopefully you like it. The DLC, that is. Hopefully you like my video as well. In case you wanted to see the 36 just here it is. So that could be very useful for doing large areas of ground with slurry if you don't want to inject. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and until next time, I'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.